Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into England's roller coaster journey through the latest football tournament. Buckle up, because it's been a wild ride full of controversy, drama, and unexpected twists. Let's start with the controversy over squad selection for the Euros. There was shock when James Maddison, Jack Grealish, and Harry Maguire were all left out of the final squad. Although Maguire was left out due to injury, there was still plenty of outrage. Who would have thought this was just the beginning of the drama? Gareth Southgate followed up a drab squad selection with a shocking loss to Iceland in England's last game before heading off to Germany. Things were looking bleak, but the team had to dust it off as they headed to Germany for Euro 2024. So here it is. After months of preparation, Euro 2024 has arrived and dealt England a very favorable group draw. First up was Serbia, and speculation was rife about the starting lineup, especially in midfield. Rumors swirled ahead of the game that Southgate was going to play Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield alongside Declan Rice. Criticism was rampant, with Eni Aluko and Wayne Rooney leading the way.
I think he'll go with Trent. I think he's probably the most gifted player with the ball at his feet we've got. Defensively, he's all over the place. He can't defend.
Despite the noise, Trent was selected, and England started strong with Jude Bellingham powering home a cross from Bukayo Saka to get England off to a winning start in their first game. The second half was a different story. England never really came out, and Phil Foden and Harry Kane were off their game. Yet most of the criticism focused on Trent in midfield. Cesc Fabregas, the ex-Arsenal and Chelsea legend, was not buying it and focused his attention on Man City's Phil Foden, claiming the star player needed to step up.
A player of this class, a player of this level, of this talent, for me sometimes doesn't even need to be told by the coach what he needs to do. He needs to want it more than the rest. And for me today, it showed that Jude is a little bit above him in this regard, and he needs to get this personality back and do what he does in matches.
With an unchanged lineup despite the critics, Harry Kane scored first, but Denmark equalized, leading to another poor performance. Yet, England still topped the group. Kyle Walker told everyone to relax, but the debate about England's form raged on. England's attack was just not clicking into gear, with Foden, Saka, Kane, and Bellingham all looking very abject. In the final group game against Slovenia, England were rubbish again but managed a draw. Despite the negativity, they qualified and set up an easy route to the finals. It was the fewest goals scored in a group stage for some time. Next up, Slovakia. Speculation about the starting lineup continued. Why were England playing so poorly despite boasting one of the best squads in Europe? Phil Foden being played out of position on the left, Luke Shaw still not fit enough to play. Questions were being asked of Gareth Southgate, and the decision to not bring a fit left-back or leave Grealish, Rashford, and Sterling at home was not looking like such a great decision. Superb cameos from Mainu, Palmer, and Gordon off the bench continued to pile pressure on Gareth Southgate to make drastic changes. Southgate held his nerve and largely continued with the same selection, with one change as England got themselves ready to face Slovakia in their first knockout game. Perhaps fan outcry worked as Kobbie Mainoo was selected to start in midfield with Declan Rice. The experiments of Trent and Gallagher in the pivot with Rice proved to be unsuccessful. The game against Slovakia was another awful display. England fell behind early and looked hopeless, with barely any shots on target. Fans were infuriated by the lack of substitutions. Finally, Palmer, Ease, and Ivan Toney came on, but it seemed too little, too late. Fans were leaving the stadium, and boos rang out all over England from pubs, fan parks, and homes. England were all but going out to lowly ranked Slovakia in the first round of a major tournament. It was looking all over for Southgate until who else but him stepped up? Jude Bellingham with an incredible overhead kick, taking the game to extra time. Jubilations and tears as defeat and ridicule were averted with less than a minute to go. The Great Escape had begun, and surely Gareth Southgate's legacy had been protected. The drama was not over as England entered extra time, only for Ivan Toney to set up Harry Kane for a close-range header to secure the win. England had done it, despite staring defeat in the face. They had pulled off what looked impossible to secure a quarter-final match in the Euros against Switzerland. Switzerland would not be a walkover after dispatching the tournament champions Italy. England would need to step up. With Marc Guéhi facing a ban, Konsa would come in as England switched to a back three. Fans were puzzled why Trent wasn't starting if England would be playing with wingbacks. Surely this was perfect for him. In Gareth Southgate's 100th game, could this be a momentous occasion or a disaster? It didn't take long for the fears to be realized as Switzerland took the lead. Another lukewarm performance by England, but sometimes that does not matter as Saka scored a brilliant equalizer to take the game to penalties. When you hear penalties and England, the two just never mix well. But this story would be different. Gareth Southgate had learned his lesson the hard way and made adjustments. Cole Palmer, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Ivan Toney all made their way on early enough to be sufficiently warmed up in time to take their spots. Absolute perfection from England, hitting all five and slaying those Euro 2020 demons as they advanced to another major semi-final. Redemption for Saka. Redemption for Southgate. The performances have been poor. The criticism has been loud. England have just not played well, but they keep advancing, and Gareth Southgate keeps taking England to places they have never been before. Surely they can't keep playing so poorly and expect to win it all. It had been a relatively favorable route for England so far as they avoided most of the heavy hitters until now, as they were on the other side of the bracket. Germany, France, Spain, and Portugal would have to slug it out. Spain would emerge and book their place in the final after dispatching Germany and France. England still had one more obstacle before they could get the chance to right the wrongs of Euro 2020, and that manifested itself in Ronald Koeman's Dutch side. In usual media fashion, criticism was rife. Surely Southgate would not stick with the same lineup despite poor performances from so many big players. Southgate was steadfast and unwavering as he stuck with the same lineup except for Marc Guéhi, who would regain his place after serving his one-game suspension for accumulating yellow cards. The game started with a bang as Xavi Simons scored for the Netherlands after dispossessing a hapless Declan Rice. It didn't take long for England to answer back as Harry Kane slotted home a first-half penalty from a very soft decision. The second half was drab, but late substitutions from Gareth Southgate would again prove to be the deciding factor. In a brave move, Southgate subbed off captain Harry Kane and Phil Foden for Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins. In what would prove to be a masterstroke, the two combined in the 90th minute to break Dutch hearts and send England to their first major final on foreign soil. Say what you will about Gareth Southgate, but nobody has done more for England's football team in the modern era or since 1966. Despite the criticism, despite the lows, he has taken them to back-to-back major finals. As the final approaches, it's clear England will be underdogs, but they have chosen just the right time to begin to play well. We know in football, dreams can come true. Can England go all the way? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, like if you enjoyed the recap, and don't forget to subscribe for more football content. Until next time, keep the faith and come on England.